in the Himalaya. But we're talking about peoples, nations, groups. They move or they migrate under compulsion, usually. Now, what were the compelling reasons here? Here we have to reconstruct, or at least trace, the conditions that existed, which might have led to this, which I believe was a large migration and included many peoples who went by the general name of IBRIM. That's Hebrew, the Hebrew form of the word Hebrew. In the ancient texts, they are mentioned many times in Babylonian and in Egyptian and in Ugaritic writings, and there their name appears as Habiru. Now this is the Babylonian form of the name. In Ugaritic and in Egyptian it appears as Apiru. So Abraham is called Ha-Ivri. Abraham is called the Hebrew. Abraham Ha-Ivri. Abraham the Hebrew. Now, first of all, what does the name mean? It seems from the description in the other writings and also from our analysis of the name itself that Ivrim has to do with those who wander. So it could be an equivalent for nomads, or where the name appears again, it says, I took your ancestors me'ever hanahar, from the other side of the river, meaning the Euphrates River. So the word avar, which means to cross over or to move in a certain direction, is the same root as the word Ivrim. So somehow there's a connection between them. There's something about them which is nomadic, the wanderers, or those who cross over from one place to another. And not only Abraham, but others are also called Ivrim. In fact, if we go back to Genesis, the beginning of 11, there, when we read the genealogy of Abraham, the great-great-grandfather of Abraham has the name Eber, which would be what we would call the eponymous ancestor. So Eber would be the ancestor whose plural is Ibrim. And the children of Eber include others, not just Abraham's family, but others as well, including Arameans. So we're talking about wandering people. The other thing is, when we get into the story, we see that Abraham's business is cattle. He has sheep and goats and bovine cattle and camels and horses as well. So they are, let's call them shepherds on the move or cattlemen on the move. Why does he have to uproot himself, go out of his place? For that, let's go back to an earlier period, and here we'll get into the period of the old Babylonian Empire. Ivrim, that's Hebrew, the Hebrew form of the word Hebrew. In the ancient texts, they are mentioned many times in Babylonian and in Egyptian and in Ugaritic writings, and there their name appears as Habiru. Now this is the Babylonian form of the name. In Ugaritic and in Egyptian it appears as Apiru. Ivrim, that's Hebrew, the Hebrew form of the word Hebrew. In the ancient texts, they are mentioned many times in Babylonian and in Egyptian and in Ugaritic writings, and there their name appears as Habiru. Now this is the Babylonian form of the name. In Ugaritic and in Egyptian it appears as Apiru.